What is Voyager 2? NASA's Voyager 2 is the second spacecraft to enter interstellar space. On December 10, 2018, the spacecraft joined its twin, Voyager 1, as the only human-made objects to enter the space between the stars. Voyager 1 and 2 were designed to take advantage of a rare planetary alignment to study the outer solar system up close. Voyager 2 targeted Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune.Like its sister spacecraft. Voyager 2 also was designed to find and study the edge of our solar system. Firsts. Voyager 2 is the only spacecraft to study all four of the solar system's giant planets at close range. Voyager 2 discovered a 14th moon at Jupiter. Voyager 2 was the first human-made object to fly past Uranus. At Uranus, Voyager 2 discovered 10 new moons and 2 new rings. Voyager 2 was the first human-made object to fly by Neptune. At Neptune, Voyager 2 discovered 5 moons, 4 rings, and a great dark spot. In depth, Voyager 2. The two spacecraft Voyager missions were designed to replace original plans for a grand tour of the planets that would have used 4 highly complex spacecraft to explore the 5 outer planets during the late 1970s. NASA canceled the plan in January 1972 largely due to anticipated costs, projected at $1 billion, and instead proposed to launch only 2 spacecraft in 1977 to Jupiter and Saturn. The 2 spacecraft were designed to explore the 2 gas giants in more detail than the 2 Pioneers, Pioneers 10 and 11, that preceded them. In 1974, mission planners proposed a mission in which, if the first Voyager was successful, the second one could be redirected to Uranus and then Neptune using gravity assist maneuvers. Each of the 2 spacecraft was equipped with a slow-scan color TV camera to take images of the planets and their moons, and each also carried an extensive suite of instruments to record magnetic, atmospheric, lunar, and other data about the planetary systems. The design of the 2 spacecraft was based on the older Mariners, and they were known as Mariner 11 and Mariner 12 until March 7, 1977, when NASA Administrator James C. Fletcher, 1919 to 1991, announced that they would be renamed Voyager. Power was provided by 3 plutonium dioxide radioisotope thermoelectric generators, RTGs, mounted at the end of a boom. Voyager 2 began transmitting images of Jupiter April 24, 1979, for time-lapse movies of atmospheric circulation. Unlike Voyager 1, Voyager 2 made close passes to the Jovian moons on its way into the system, with scientists especially interested in more information from Europa and Io, which necessitated a 10-hour-long volcano watch. During its encounter, it relayed back spectacular photos of the entire Jovian system, including its moons Callisto, Ganymede, Europa, at a range of about 127,830 miles or 205,720 kilometers, much closer than Voyager 1, Io, and Amalthea, all of which had already been surveyed by Voyager 1. Voyager 2's closest encounter to Jupiter was at 2229 UT July 9, 1979, at a range of about 400,785 miles, 645,000 kilometers. It transmitted new data on the planet's clouds, its newly discovered 4 moons, and ring system, as well as 17,000 new pictures. When the earlier Pioneers flew by Jupiter, they detected few atmospheric changes from one encounter to the second, but Voyager 2 detected many significant changes, including a drift in the Great Red Spot as well as changes in its shape and color. With the combined cameras of the 2 Voyagers, at least 80% of the surfaces of Ganymede and Callisto were mapped out to a resolution of about 3 miles, 5 kilometers. Following a course correction 2 hours after its closest approach to Jupiter, Voyager 2 sped to Saturn, its trajectory determined to a large degree by a decision made in January 1981, to try to send the spacecraft to Uranus and Neptune later in the decade. Its encounter with the 6th planet began August 22, 1981, 2 years after leaving the Jovian system, with imaging of the moon Iapetus. Once again, Voyager 2 repeated the photographic mission of its predecessor, although it actually flew about 14,290 miles, 23,000 kilometers, closer to Saturn. The closest encounter to Saturn was at 121 UT August 26, 1981, at a range of about 63,000 miles, 101,000 kilometers. The spacecraft provided more detailed images of the ring spokes and kinks, and also the F-ring and its shepherding moons, all found by Voyager 1. Voyager 2's data suggested that Saturn's A-ring was perhaps only about 980 feet, 300 meters, thick. As it flew behind and up past Saturn, the probe passed through the plane of Saturn's rings at a speed of 8 miles per second, 13 kilometers per second. For several minutes during this phase, The spacecraft was hit by thousands of micron-sized dust grains that created puff plasma as they were vaporized. Because the vehicle's attitude was repeatedly shifted by the particles, attitude control jets automatically fired many times to stabilize the vehicle. During the encounter, Voyager 2 also photographed the Saturn moons Hyperion, the Hamburger moon, Enceladus, Tethys, and Phoebe, as well as the more recently discovered Helene, Telesto, and Calypso. Although Voyager 2 had fulfilled its primary mission goals with the two planetary encounters, mission planners directed the veteran spacecraft to Uranus, a journey that would take about 4.5 years. In fact, its encounter with Jupiter was optimized in part to ensure that future planetary flybys would be possible. The Uranus encounter's geometry was also defined by the possibility of a future encounter with Neptune. Voyager 2 had only 5.5 hours of close study during its flyby. Voyager 2 was the first human-made object to fly past the planet Uranus.
Well guys, this video is over. I hope you enjoy, and if you enjoy, be sure to hit the like button. Until the next video, have a great time.